A number of the day, 27th of July, and it's 24 billion rand lost off the market share for the Foschini Group. Francis, heard this one hurts no matter which way you cut it.
Yeah. It's down to 2010 levels, the share price for the Foschini Group, which obviously owns Foschini, Total Sports, Sports Scene. But Gareth, I thought it's not a good time to be in retail in South Africa. And this is actually a window into what's happening. We talk about the cost of living. And remember, there was a crisis and then things started to look better. Prices started to look better. But it seems like we're back there again when people are just under severe strain. So a lot of the retailers are struggling. About a month ago, they were all down for this year, about 20%. But Foschini Group, the Foschini Group is struggling the most. But you also have Pep, Mr. Price, Woolworths doing okay. But a lot of those clothing retailers, Truworths, under strain. Even then you move to other retailers, Pick n Pay under strain, Spar, Clicks. So we are all finding ourselves constrained, sort of people in the middle class, and that's affecting the retail sector.
It is affecting the retail sector because if we had this discussion a couple of years ago, you would have thought, well, clothing is an essential. But the way people are viewing essentials these days because of the cost of living, salaries haven't gone up, people are struggling to pay off their debt already. Something like clothing is no longer considered an essential.
And you have the fast fashion now. So you have Shein and you have all those retailers. We've been speaking about cars, right? The Chinese car makers are undercutting what's out there. That's happening to the retailers as well. But listen to how interesting this is. Shein is in fact reporting as well a loss of $99 million. So Shein itself is really, look, it says there was an accounting charge, but it's been hit by tariffs in the US and it's facing constraints in the European Union. The argument still rages, should we protect our own retailers even more here in South Africa? But people are pushing back against that fast fashion. But yeah, the Foschini Group, you can get stuff cheaper.
You can get it cheaper. Also, you traditionally, and I'm sure this is still the case now, I haven't had a store card in many years, but the credit available for buying clothes in particular, people are even pushing back against the credit because they make credit, not just TFG, but all these stores really, not picking on any one of them, make getting credit so easily. But even now consumers are going, you know what, this is even beyond the available credit line.
Yes, and that may be a good thing because people are so indebted. It may just be that the Foschini Group is one of those owed a lot by customers, because last week we were talking about some of the stats. Remember, so 41% of credit active consumers are now in default. So maybe it's not on your home loan, but it means you are defaulting on one of your credit lines, maybe a store card. That is a huge figure, 41%. And a default isn't when you haven't paid for 1 month. It's when you haven't paid for 3 months.
And you start getting handed over and all those sort of things,
53% of consumers, now this was the Debt Busters survey, have unsustainable debt in that they pay 40% of their take-home pay just on credit. Now, that is what is considered unsustainable because it's just too high. And TransUnion also saying that people are starting to hold back. So they're holding back on dining out, travel, entertainment, subscriptions, memberships. And part of this would be retail. So we have consumers under pressure and then our companies under pressure as well.
So as we land this plane, as we always like to do on number of the day, so massive loss for TFG in this case. Any comment from them? Anything that might be done? I mean, they're relying on consumers to come back and spend, but when the consumers can't spend, what can they do here? Yeah,
so we haven't got a comment from them yet. This came out today, the sort of magnitude of what's going on. But remember, the buying is really important for clothing retailers. But we're already seeing Pick and Pay, that's different. It's food, but they're saying they have to restructure, and that affects jobs, right? And we've seen retailers go through this before. So this affects all of us, and just a window into the strain that so many South Africans are under right now. The share price for the Foschini Group down 24 billion this year, down about 40% for this year alone, down more than 50% compared to a year ago. And really, this is the lowest figure since 2010.